Did you know that Donald Trump has won 19 golf championships and owns many golf courses around the world? You wouldn't be wrong if you call him the Oval Office's best golfer, but that doesn't mean the previous US presidents were slouches either. But which ex-president can give Trump a good old 9-iron spanking? Let's find out. The first ex-president to come to mind is Joe Biden. I mean, who else would it be? These two have gone toe-to-toe at the polls, and while Biden defeated Trump in that arena, golf is a whole different game. In fact, during this year's presidential debate, Biden playfully threw down a challenge, daring Trump to a match on the golf course.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6.
Imagine a high-stakes round with Biden adjusting his Ray-Bans and telling Trump he'd better bring his A-game. Of course, it was a light-hearted jab, but who wouldn't want to see these two settle some scores with drivers and putters instead of campaign ads? To Biden's credit though, his handicap stats are pretty impressive, with a decent 6.7. He's definitely got the skills, but unfortunately, he hasn't played a round since 2018. So, if Biden wants to step on the green against Trump, then I advise that he shakes off some rust first. My verdict is this: Biden could give Trump a tough game if he can find his old form. But since his handicap has gone into hibernation mode, Trump, who still plays regularly, will most likely emerge the winner. JFK might be dead, but those who were close to him remember how well he could swing a golf club. Yeah, Kennedy could really hit the ball as far as the eyes could see. However, his shot accuracy was quite questionable. And hey, how in the world are you going to putt if you can't hit the target? Now, there isn't much data about Kennedy's games, as he liked to keep most of his outings on the low. But according to his old friend, Ben Bradley, he had a handicap of around 7. This isn't bad at all, and JFK would surely fancy his chances against Trump if he was still alive today. But since he's not, we can only call it based on the numbers and their style of play. That being said, Trump's precision and regular practice will give him an advantage over JFK.
Beautiful. Right at the flag. That's
good.
Awesome. Great shot.
But if JFK were having a good day and some luck that'll help him swing more accurately, then he could give Trump a run for his money. Still, I doubt that mere luck will be able to give him the win over the ever-prolific Trump. So yeah, it's a Trump win for me, although by a narrow margin. Next up is Franklin D. Roosevelt, a former club champion back in the day. But even with all his golfing skills, it was sad that he didn't play while he was president, thanks to polio. Regardless, his estimated handicap was around 8 based on his record of shooting in the low 80s, and he remained a golf enthusiast till he passed away. Speaking of which, did you know that Roosevelt helped promote the game in the US? Yeah, hundreds of public golf courses were funded during his administration, and he even kept a lighter shaped like a golf ball on his desk in the Oval Office. That's how much FDR loved the game. But will his 8 handicap be any match for Trump's 2.8? I doubt that, so this will be a Trump win for me. Now, George Bush Sr. is one guy Trump will definitely be careful of if they ever step on the green together. He was known for his speedy style of play, which he called aerobic golf, and he could wrap up to 18 holes in record time. This might throw Trump off his game, since he's the type to take his time to get things right. But don't think Bush wasn't skilled just because he was fast. On the contrary, he had a decent handicap of 11 to match his speed, and he's got what it takes to keep Trump on his toes. But hey, this is Trump we're talking about, whose game is so refined it tastes like fine wine. Sure, Bush might win a hole or two, but I still think Trump would come out on top. And then there's Bill Clinton, the presidential mulligan with a handicap of 12. Oh, in case you're wondering what a mulligan is, it's simply a free shot that lets a golfer replay a previous stroke without a penalty. This is common in casual games, but it's certainly not allowed in professional matchups. As for Clinton, he really loved golf. He's hosted several PGA events and has played alongside some of the biggest names in the game. But even at that, being a mulligan makes his handicap of 12 pretty questionable. Trump, on the other hand, plays by strict rules. So if Clinton were to abide by professional rules, then Trump will blow Bill away. But if they agree to play using the friendly mulligan option, then Clinton might just get one over him. Next up is Gerald Ford, who packed a drive so strong the ball could fly into space. Believe it or not, Ford once outdrove Arnold Palmer and Gary Player, and this is no small feat by any means. Another special element to Ford's game was his unpredictability. Yeah, he could hit some sweet putts, but on the flip side, he sometimes smacked his shots into unsuspecting spectators. All factors considered, Trump's tighter game and his better handicap would force Ford to struggle all through their matchup. Ford's occasional wild shots would also cost him too many strokes, which will give Trump a major advantage. My verdict is that Trump beats Ford easily. But how can we talk about ex-presidents who can beat Trump in golf without mentioning Richard Nixon? I mean, this guy had a 3-hole course built at his house, which shows how dedicated he is to the sport. Interestingly, Nixon had a handicap of around 12, but he later quit golf altogether. He even got rid of the White House putting green that was built by Eisenhower.
It looked like the old Nixon, said one spectator as the former president teed off. He shot a respectable 92 for the 18-hole Acosta course.
So, how will he fare against a beast like Trump? Well, his early skills could make this an interesting match, but Trump's consistency will once again be a major factor. Nixon's rustiness will be no match for Trump's level of consistency. I have to say though, maybe the outcome will be different if Trump plays against Nixon in his prime. Just maybe. And how can I forget about Barack Obama, the man who sat in the Oval Office right before Trump did? But this ain't no politics, it's golf, and it's an entirely different arena. Obama was popular for his honest 13 handicap and a swing so smooth it felt like 60s blues. He was also dedicated to the game, as he played around 333 rounds during his 2 terms in office. So, with all Obama's consistency and practice, will he be able to destroy Trump on the course? Well, maybe, and for a good few reasons. First of all, Obama is the first left-handed president to hit the course, so that might throw Trump off, even though not by much. Secondly, Obama has had more than enough practice, and his consistency and experience might come into play during critical moments. So, if Obama plays his best game, he might just edge Trump. All the same, this will no doubt be an interesting matchup. That's if they ever play. Another Bush makes the list, and this time it's George Bush Jr. Now, it's true he was quite average when he first started as a golfer, but his game improved, and he even brought his handicap down to 10 and kept it there consistently. Bush Jr. even quit golf for a while thanks to the war in Iraq, but when he came back, he made his presence felt by scoring his first ever hole-in-one. This showed he still had some game in him, but will that be enough to beat Trump? Well, Bush's style of play and dedication to the sport, it makes it a tough call. But if he brings his A game, who knows how much of a tough time he'll give Trump. Still, Trump has shown greater superiority on the green time and time again, and that alone forces me to believe that George Bush will get whooped if he dared challenge the White House's golfing GOAT. Last but definitely not least is Dwight D. Eisenhower, who loved golf so much that he installed a putting green on the White House lawn. But that's not all. He was even a member at the Augusta National. Unfortunately, Eisenhower has a handicap of around 14 to 18. So, even though he loved golf so much, he's nowhere near Trump's level. That being said, Trump will definitely take the win, but it wouldn't be all about winning, as it will always be a pleasure playing against Eisenhower, the man who built the first golf course in the White House. So, can any of these past presidents beat Trump in a round of golf? Well, a few might give him a run for his money, but Trump's consistent practice and low handicap would likely see him winning most matchups, especially against the presidential golfing legends who have long since left their prime. And it's not just his golf game he's winning at. Just look at the recent 2024 election. Trump's drive, both on the green and on the campaign trail, has earned him yet another major victory. Just like in golf, he's managed to turn challenging situations into triumphs. Clearly, his competitive edge extends beyond the fairways, bringing that same hole-in-one mentality back to the Oval Office. But that's just my opinion. What about you? Do you think Donald Trump is the greatest golfer to ever sit in the Oval Office? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like this video, click to subscribe.